We all have a story to tell that impacts, heals, and inspires others to move forward in life's challenges. But not everyone has to overcome being unemployed for 19 years as a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids and having issues from serving in their respected branches. If you want to be inspired by remembering who you are and what you're actually capable of with very little, listen to this episode. If you desire to learn more about what a veteran chamber is all about and why you should join or start one in your local region, you should definitely stay tuned.
After the Vietnam War, there were not a lot of programs that were set for us returning from a war, right? And so I got out with issues. I didn't know I had issues. They just kind of got masked because I became a stay-at-home mom. And so for many years, I call it my silent suffering years, right? Where literally I just suffered in silence because I didn't know. I was disconnected. I was focused on raising my kids. And basically, I just cried a lot in the closet.
Are you out of the military and feeling lost, confused, or simply unfulfilled where you are in life right now? Or maybe you're like me and realize resume writing, interview prep, and job fair education has a shelf life to your post-military goals and aspirations. How I explain it to a lot of people, it's literally like a band-aid to a deeper problem of figuring out who you are, what you want, and how to execute on it. So you can actually feel like you're making the level impact out of the military uniform that you felt like while you were in, right? So if that is you, I want to invite you to go to 10stepstosuccessbook.com. I've invested over $100,000 in my own personal and professional development to just figure myself out after 2 failed suicide attempts in 2013. Obviously, I don't want you to spend over $100,000 on, inside of learning more about yourself. So why not learn from my over $100,000 worth of investment and also over 8 years of failing my way forward, climbing up a corporate ladder to making over 6 figures to now impacting thousands of veterans in my own industry inside of my purpose that really fuels my life every single day. Again, you're getting all this value that when you go to 10stepstosuccessbook.com, all this value for only $5. What I always say to any ambitious vets deciphering on should I invest in myself for $5? Well, sacrifice a meal tomorrow, right? Prep your meal, right? I can't be more ambitious than you are, right? Now, if you are saying $5 is a big deal for you, hey, totally got it. You don't need to do it. Enjoy the rest of the episode, and you're going to get tons of gold grenades to inspire you. However, if you are an ambitious vet that's not going to have $5 stop you from really reaching the next level of success in an area of life that you are really stopped by right now, I encourage you to go to 10stepstosuccessbook.com. There's over $1,300 worth of value there. You're getting it for only $5. And here's the thing. If $5 is a big deal for you, we have it all backed by a Patriot Promise, which if you're not getting the results you want, you got to definitely prove that you've done the work. All those tools that you're getting for $5, frameworks, keynote speeches that I've given, stuff like that. If you've proven that you've gone through that content and haven't created results, both intangible or tangible in your life, you get a full 90-day money-back guarantee because we're driven off you getting results, not just obviously collecting money. What's the money if we're not producing results in your life and helping you become more, right? So again, that's 10stepstosuccessbook.com. We'll see you on the other side of that.
It's time to get into the trenches, dig into your purpose, and fire up your life fulfillment. The Ambitious Vet Podcast starts now.
What's going on, Ambitious Vet? We are right back inside the trenches today with Cristie Remmel. Cristie is a U.S. Navy veteran who served as a Marine FMF corpsman or medic, depending on how you look at it, during Desert Storm. After her honorable discharge from the military, Cristie obtained her bachelor's degree in graphic design and her master's degree in fine arts. Cristie is a mentor. She's an educator She's a faculty member of Genius U, an international organization owned by Roger Hamilton. She has been sought out and selected by major corporations as a professional art therapy trainer and veteran speaker. Her continued passion to serve the veteran community led her to start the DFW U.S. Veteran Chamber of Commerce in order to help veteran business owners, wounded veterans, transitioning military service members, and their families, and the community at large. She's also the National Chamber Development Director for the United States Veteran Chamber Headquarters. Cristie, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, that's an amazing resume. Just doing some amazing stuff for the veteran at large. And just this, just to think this all started as a corpsman, right? So started as a corpsman, saving lives. And now you've kind of stacked up experiences and really, are making a huge impact out of the uniform. So feel free to fill the gaps of that introduction and give us more of an insight on who you are and who you are today.
Who am I today? Well, that's a loaded question, right? I don't think I would have ever thought that I would be here from my humble beginnings, like never in a million years. Did I ever think that I would be doing what I'm doing today, meeting the amazing people that I'm meeting, and just having a lot of fun.
Nice. So tell us more about those humble beginnings. I mean, ambitious vets, they always like hearing those kind of stories. So what would be an example of a humble beginning?
I am a daughter of immigrant parents who came to the United States in 1978. So my beginnings are very humble, right? My parents had some education, but laborers, both of them, right? They just work hard for the money. They raised us and they did their best. And at 17, I decided that I wanted to do something bigger and greater with my life. And I also didn't want to be unemployed in El Paso, Texas. So I joined the military. I went into the Navy. I turned 18 in basic training and I turned 21 in the Persian Gulf War. 2 birth dates I will never forget. Very memorable, right?
I bet.
I was deployed to the Persian Gulf War for 6 very long months. And like I always tell people, homie doesn't camp anymore unless there's a shower in a hotel.
That's funny.
You will not get me camping,
Right.
And coming out of that experience, I became a stay-at-home mom. So I raised my kids,
Yep.
And like I said, I mean, I look back and I don't recognize that other life, right? It's like a lifetime ago. I'm a totally different person now. I'm doing different things and just having a lot of fun helping the veteran community.
Yeah, and you're definitely doing that, and you're doing it on a big level. I mean, Ambitious Vet, I was actually late for the event. I believe it was a few weeks ago with Bunker Labs. She partnered up, her and her team, with a major Bunker Labs event, which was just amazing to actually get back in person with people, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
And definitely doing some great things. And I was actually late because I was running behind, just figuring out how to balance this pregnancy life, moving in from the first trimester to the second trimester. Sometimes that's easy. Some days are easy, some days are not, right? So that was always fun. But yeah, definitely doing some grassroots and beyond impact within the veteran community. So tell us more about your decision to transition out of the U.S. Navy, right? Because you got out and then you went from an art professor and instructor to now running the DFW Veterans Chamber of Commerce. What was your life like over the course of those first few years getting out of the Navy?
Well, I went through the same challenges and struggles everybody today is going through. So being the first war, if you want to call it a war, after the Vietnam War, there were not a lot of programs that were set for us returning from a war, right? And so I got out with issues. I didn't know I had issues. They just kind of got masked because I became a stay-at-home mom. And so for many years, I call it my silent suffering years, right? Where literally I just suffered in silence because I didn't know I was disconnected. I was focused on raising my kids. And basically, I just cried a lot in the closet, like literally cried a lot in the closet, right? So I was a closet crier. And when I talked to like some of my doctors, because I did try to get some help, they would always say, well, you just became a mom. Well, you just had a baby. Oh, you're pregnant again. Oh, well, you're a stay-at-home mom. You really have nothing to do other than to raise the kids, right? You're just stressing out. Oh, you're bored. And so it was always those answers. But then again, I never said I'm a Persian Gulf War vet either, right? So I would just go in and I would just say, well, I have a lot of anxiety. Oh, I have a lot of panic attacks. Oh, I have a lot of nightmares. But they never asked the more in-depth questions. And I think just because they're civilian doctors, so obviously they were not looking for PTSD issues, right?
Right.
And so I call those my silent ears. And once I got divorced, it is when all this really starting to surface, right? Because now, okay, I can't hide in the closet. I got to do something. I got to figure out what's wrong with me. And I honestly thought I was broken. I was defective, inherently defective, like something broke in me. I don't know what, but I'm crazy, right? And so I was really forced to look at what the issue was, figure it out. And then I felt like I was literally thrown out into the world without a job, with issues and 3 kids, right? So I have a lot on my plate. And I started trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life to earn a living, because I haven't worked in 19 and a half years, right? So I was like, okay, I have a master's degree. I'm going to teach. Okay, I can be creative. I'm going to do this. And literally, I just started going from job to job to job to job, which is very telling of what our transitioning veterans do today, right?
Yeah,
you get out of the military and you start bouncing from job to job to job because you have no idea what you want to do when you grow up after the military, right?
That's so true. Yeah.
It's true, right?
Yep.
What am I going to do with my life after I get out of the military?
Right.
And then you're just bouncing around. So I experienced that. And it wasn't until I think I hit my low point in my life. And I said to myself, what are my skills? What do I have to offer? And it always comes back to art. I love art. I have a graphic design degree. I have a master's degree in art. And looking at that, I decided to open up my own business, which is Blue Dragonfly LLC. It's all about website design, graphic design, social media marketing.
Nice.
So I'm not kidding when I say this, $200 to my name, because I had quit my last job, my last part-time job I had, right? And I quit. I looked at my checking account and I was like, damn, I only have $200. So what am I going to do? And I went out and bought $100 worth of groceries. I bought $25 in paper business cards that I did myself. And I went to Kinko's and I printed them out and then I hand cut them because I didn't want to spend for them to cut them, right?
Yeah,
so I hand cut them. And then the rest was really for networking and gas for me to get to my network events, right? And so I was like, oh, I'm out of business card, but here's my paper card, right? And so that's how I started my business. I decided I was going to make it one way or the other because I was not going to go to a job. I was tired of flopping from job to job. And so I've never looked back. The DFW Chamber really started, oh, actually, let me back up for a minute. So about 7 years ago, I got involved in the veteran community. And that's really what turned my life around was finding the veteran community. So
you refound them. You went right back into the veteran community. That's great.
I went into the veteran community because of a news segment that was talking about veteran suicides, right? They survive a war, they come back, and then they choose to end their lives.
Hmm.
And I wanted to
Mhm.
know why. Why are they doing that? What is it that they're not getting? And what are we going to do about it? And so that got me to involve in the veteran community. I started looking for organizations I could go in and volunteer. I wanted to know what the problem is, what's the solution, how come you're not doing anything about it?
You're knocking doors down. I love it.
Yes, yeah. And basically, that's what started me on the journey of healing, because I was able to identify what my issues were, because I was seeing it in their issues, right? And I was like, oh, ding, 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 I
Right.
know what's wrong with me. And so I got help. I got better. You're never 100% cure, right? Never goes away. You just learn how to deal with it, how to move through it faster, and how to cope and adapt. And that's basically what I've been doing since. The chamber was just an extension of that. Happened during COVID. Actually, 3 weeks into COVID, the chamber kind of dropped into my lap through a friend that asked me if the United States Veterans Chamber of Commerce was the real deal. And I said, I don't know, but let me find out. So after I did a little bit of an investigation, I decided this is the next thing that I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to help my veteran family stay in business. And I opened up the chamber 3 weeks exactly into the beginning of COVID. I had a chamber.
Wow. Talk about making shit happen, right? That's amazing. And Ambitious Vet, first and foremost, Cristie, I just want to say thank you for sharing and opening your heart wide open, because I think a lot of ambitious vets, maybe you, ambitious vet that's listening to this right now, will heal from this story directly. But just like how you were able to like identify your friends putting excuses in your way, right? And ambitious vet, you that's listening to this right now, who's in your social surroundings right now? Who's putting excuses in your way that's stopping you from being successful in your life? Identify those people, find ways to create better boundaries. And I promise you, your life satisfaction, your happiness and stuff like that will continue to elevate. Cristie, I definitely love and identify with starting a business with just a couple $100 in your pocket and what it takes to do a lot with a little, right? But I feel like a lot of us ambitious veterans are good at that as well, right? Doing a lot with a little, being able to find and create opportunities, resources, and getting the mission done, right? So that ambitious vet, definitely learn from that on top of all the other golden grenades that Cristie just hit on inside that segment. But Cristie, back to you. I mean, you talked about what you learned from that whole entire experience, right? Learned so much about yourself, one, your issues, but also how to better cope with them, and plug back into the veteran community to kind of just familiarize yourself that, hey, you're not alone with these issues. Now, what problem did you see within the local market in the DFW and inside the veteran community as a whole that had you be like, hey, we need a DFW Veteran Chamber of Commerce? What was missing in the market? And what are you seeking to provide to solve that problem?
Well, because we started the chamber during COVID, one of the things that I quickly learned is that I had to teach a lot of people how to get on Zoom, how to have meetings, right?
Yep.
And then how to network on Zoom, and then how to offer those products or services online, right? And then how to open them up nationwide. So that was one of the things that that we were trying to solve right away is what are we going to do? How do we pivot our businesses, right? And then the other thing is that just finding the resources for those veterans that are struggling or that had literally lost their jobs. They don't have a business, but they lost their job. What can we do in helping them to stay afloat and not become homeless themselves?
Right.
Can I answer your question?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that, from my perspective of the VFWs, the Amvets, stuff like that, great resources for just doing the everyday, how do I survive, but how do we thrive, right? And I think the DFW Veteran Chamber of Commerce has done a great job, just providing that need on how do you go to the next level after basic needs, right? How do you build a business. How do you leverage the new technology communication tools? They are cool tools too, to
Right.
just continue to scale, grow your business, and network despite the lack of in-person meetings, right? Which has definitely been a huge crutch in a lot of people's business, business acumen and resources and stuff like that over the past year and a half. So that's what I'm hearing. But what is to you, because you're the founder of DFW Veteran Chamber of Commerce, what is it to you, and why is it important for an ambitious vet that's listening to this to like show up, join, and get involved inside the ecosystem?
Well, first of all, it's a family, right? We're a tight group of people. We don't have cliques, or we have one giant clique, right? So we don't have individual cliques. So we're one giant clique. We are very tight friends, right? There's a lot of friendly bantering that goes back and forth. We have a solid core group of business owners that show up weekly. And what I love about it is that whenever they're not going to show up, they actually text me and tell me, hey, I'm so sorry I can't show up Friday, which is like, I don't require anybody to tell me. I just think it's kind of cool that they do, right? Accountability. The other thing is that our chamber has really provided a lot of opportunity for networking and doing business. We had 2 veterans that got together and wrote a book, so they are published. We have a veteran that transitioned out of the military, got together with another veteran, and now they have a franchise. So there's a lot of business back and forth. One of the veterans works for a car dealership. He sold like 3 or 4 cars just from our chamber. So there's a lot of opportunities to network here at the local level. And then because I'm in charge of national chamber development, I help other chambers throughout the United States to open up chambers. So we opened up a chamber in Houston. So now our local DFW chambers can collaborate with Houston. We're getting ready to open our first international chamber out of the UK. So all of those members will have a great opportunity to network abroad.
It's huge.
So why wouldn't you want to join the DFW Chamber, right?
We get to work with the Brits again, man. I remember that in Afghanistan.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. They're intense and passionate, but that's just amazing growth. And I think it's really built off of core pillars and values, right? Which I know that if you go check out the website Ambitious Vet, they talk about the pillars, right? And I think the culture is everything that you've built inside of that ecosystem, Cristie, is a direct reflection of what it takes to be successful in that chamber, which is important, right? Because sometimes you join chambers and you don't get much out of it. It's like, just random people that are in it for me, right? And I feel like a veteran chamber of commerce, to be quite frank, is like, what can I do for you first? We'll solve my problem later. It's all about servant leadership. I mean, would you agree, or kind of what are you seeing is the difference between other veteran chamber of commerces, they're not veteran, stuff like that?
Well, all chambers are good. I don't tell people, oh, well, stop being a member of that regular chamber and come join us, right? Because they all have a purpose. They're all good for what they do. What makes us different is that we truly are a community of family, right? We're not, we're selfish in a way that we have to make business, right? Because
of course,
build, right? Yeah. But at the same time, we're looking out for you, right? We're providing those referrals and those opportunities. And then if you have a bad day, we're there for you. What other organization or group of community is going to totally understand what you're saying? I'm having a bad day, right?
Yeah.
And especially if you tell them what you're thinking, or you just start going down memory lane, right? What other group of people is going to understand you better than us?
That's so true. I mean, I think that's what had me go back to the veteran community after 7 years when I went back into the veteran community. It was just, man, like people, your civilian counterparts, they try to understand you, but they don't understand the language, the jargon, the mannerisms, and the belief systems, right? So
right.
It's so important. It's so important. Good point there. So, Cristie, I know we've been spending a lot of time, and I know we're running up on our time deadline here, but I want to end this with a tradition that we have here on the Ambitious Vet Show, which is the one last golden grenade, right? So pretty much you've been blowing us away this entire show, not only with your story, but also ways that they can plug into an ecosystem that creates ongoing resources, opportunities for growth and advancement in their life. And Ambitious Vet, I encourage you to really go run and check out what the DFW Veteran Chamber of Commerce is doing, how you can expand it in your local communities, and how you can connect back into the Brits, man. I mean, God, that's awesome. I love that side of things too. So, Cristie, back over to you. There's an ambitious vet that's in the trenches of life, that's been out for at least 3 years, has realized that, getting career stability is easy to do. Not necessarily easy to do, but they figured out the basics of how to do that, right? But they're just lacking something else in life. Maybe it's, satisfaction, fulfillment, clarity, confidence, whatever it may be. What would be one last golden grenade that you would provide to that ambitious vet? And then we'll give the ambitious vet a call to action to go and follow you and everything you're doing.
Well, what I would say that whatever you're going through today, there's always tomorrow. And tomorrow is always a new start to whatever you're choosing to do with your life, right? The one thing that works for me is that I always tell myself, what can I do to make myself feel better just a little bit today? Right. And that's what I focus on. Whether I take a break and go for a walk, or I work out, or I meditate, or I listen to music. So that's the one thing that I always do. Business wise, I always try to look for mentors that are where I want to be at. And then I follow them, or I pay very close attention to what they're doing and how they're doing it. And then I model after them in business, right? And then the other thing that I always say to people is that if I'm not having fun, I'm just not going to do it. Life is too short, and I want to have fun with everything that I'm doing. Doesn't mean I'm not working. It just means that I'm having fun while I'm working.
There's a difference, and there's a way to actually accomplish that, right? Have fun and work at the same time. And I think maybe this veteran that's listening to this is just like, you can actually have fun and do what you're doing to supply for your family. Yeah, absolutely can. Yeah, you just got to choose to. So, Cristie, where can this ambitious vet go to get more plugged into the DFW Veteran Chamber of Commerce, or just get connected to you personally and network with you?
Well, our website is dfwveteranschamber.org. My email is info@dfwveteranschamber.org. I am on LinkedIn as Cristie Remmel. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, on Twitter as well.
Nice. So Ambitious Vet, we're going to have those on inside the show notes all below. So make sure you get connected on whatever channel that you participate on. Go and check out the website. Figure out how you can contribute to veterans that are out there building the ecosystem, not only the ecosystem, but the economical system, again, through our non-tangible skills, our soft skills and our hard skills, rather. And just doing a lot of big impact out of the uniform. Go get plugged into a community that's going to be committed to your growth and your advancement in your life. So, Cristie, I just want to thank you for joining the show today. You are a rock star. I'm happy that I got connected with you and your team when I first touched base here with me and my wife a little over a year ago, because you guys are leading the charge out here and now nationwide and globally. So thank you for everything that you're doing.
Well, thank you for having me as a guest. It has been a pleasure, and I hope to see you our first year anniversary, Friday the 23rd.
Yes, we'll have that link in the show notes below, and I've already confirmed I will be there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
The Ambitious Vet is available on all popular podcast platforms. Go to vettrainingcoaching.com to subscribe, rate, and share with fellow vets.
Hey, Ambitious Vet, before you go ahead and head out on to your next endeavor in life after this episode, make sure to go check out 10 steps to successbook.com only if you're ready to become a commander-in-chief in your life and not be stopped by those landmines like, how do I find career stability? How do I find an ideal career? How do I, start communicating better with my colleagues or clients, or fill in the blank for you? Whatever you're looking to improve on, if you go visit 10stepstosuccessbook.com with all those tools, it's not just the ebook. There's the field guide. There's a keynote speech on how to literally build professional excellence as an ambitious vet there. Over $1,300 worth of value there, and over $100,000 plus investment in myself over the past 8 years. I'm giving it to you for almost free. In fact, it's only $5. It's Starbucks coffee. So if you are ambitious and you listen to this and you're looking to go to the next level in an area of life that matters to you, make sure to go check out 10stepstosuccessbook.com and invest in yourself. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side.